Hello there. This is really an addendum to the last one. See what I did here. Two things. One, what does this appear to be? This thing's underneath. Hang on a second here. Right center. It really should be on top and the same size and the same color as the other box, because actually you'll see why in a minute when I run this thing. What I did was add a picture to kind of make it look prettier, but instead of using they have something called a picture box or picture control, and I didn't use it because I don't know what it is, but I know how to make a custom control. I know how to, we got that down like nobody's business. So I just made a custom, set that to custom control, and made a little bitmap file, and all it does is paint the bitmap. And well, see, I grabbed the code from here. Get rid of that. Let's get rid of this stuff. I don't need. Alright. So, no, this really is just like a resource. It's not a part of the program. This is its interface. You declare it. Then of course you got to link it in the dialog, and that's just done by setting, passing it its this pointer at init dialog. Now, what I added was, that's handy. What I added was, of course, this ability to include things that don't have an icon, and and so that brought up actually two more dialogs that are not listed here. But if I comment a particular piece of code, where is that code? It's going to be in global spot. This is a global. These are global visible dialogs. Neither of which has one of which has an icon, like a program icon, an associated program icon, and one which doesn't. And you might be able to guess what they are. Hey, oh, here. Actually, there's another thing I did too, which I'll show you in a sec. Before I forget, I realized that holding on to that list of user data in the list control. What am I looking at? They're not animate common controls. Could just as easily be done in the list box. So now you can don't have to worry. You can just pass. And I changed it to take a copy, right? Now you know for sure that what you pass in is just doesn't matter, right? You don't have to maintain that data. You can pass in a copy of the data, and all I did was in the control. The same trick of creating a list of item data, right? And when you add an item, I do exactly the same thing. Add it to the list, and then add the thing from the list. A pointer to the list entry. Where's that? It's in the actual code, which unfortunately is not in common where it's supposed to be. Near the bottom. TsIconListBox. See? That's the same code as what would have been something that would have had to have been duplicated by anybody using this thing, and now that's solved and cleaned up, and everything's falling together where it should be. Just not by accident. The reason these things are falling together this way is because I did it wrong first, right? And as my other friend, not Steve McGuire, the writer of that book, but another Steve, told me about, just do it, and they'll see it'll work out in the end. And it's working out. Like all of the bits that have to do with this list box are sort of like it's like a magnet. It's drawing them into its class. Now, anyway, the bit that I wanted to mention, where is that? Is when walking through the top level window. So that's not a global thing. That has to do with my specific program. Walking through the top level windows and adding things to that list. Two dialogue, like real dialogue objects come up. And they both have the same associated program. That's true, I guess they both did. No, but one of them I was able to extract a module, an icon from. And that was, maybe. Okay. No, they're both Explorer. Why didn't I get the same icon? Well, what I'm gonna do is have what I originally had. So I didn't have any of this. I just, if no icon, try to get it from, so I need the module path. Put that in here. Do it all in one line. I think that's what I originally had. And one of them I got an icon, and one of them I didn't get an icon. Well, you've probably guessed by now. One of them is called Program Manager. Remember I told you that the shell's window name is Program Manager? Well, it turns out, okay, one's probably both. I didn't check the class name, but I'm guessing they're both of the class. No, the desktop. The desktop's a special class. Okay, see? Oh, they do have icons. Okay. Forget what I said. So now that's the first icon that appears. If you start walking through the icons in Explorer.exe, and by the way, I had to fix this thing up because all that other function was returning was just the module name. I needed the full path, but there's a function for that as well. Now, Program Manager, as you know, is the window title given to the shell, the Explorer itself. And you can hide that one, nothing happens, because I think its dimensions are like 1 pixel by 1 pixel. See, watch. Go on. Okay, see? Nothing happened. Everything's still working. Even though I've hidden the shell. Now, but what happens if I hide the, I don't know what class it is. It's probably dialog. If I hide this one called start, which has no, well, it's a dialog and its associated program, or whatever, some class, and its associated program is Explorer, just as this one is, but a different window. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and I'll just hide that one. What? Now hang on a second here. Now what do you do? Right, there's no. I got a desktop, but I've got no taskbar. It turns out that start window includes the taskbar and the start button and the sys tray, especially in particular the sys tray. I've got no sys tray, and the only way to get things back in order to use this. And we've got to kill Explorer. And then rerun it again. Okay, now it's back. Now you'll notice that there's nothing extra in here, and if I had, well, you can see that I'm no longer debugging. I had run that under the debugger, and now the debugger stopped because this program, SYSTMAN, quits when it sees that the program it's hiding has disappeared. So we don't want to allow people to hide the start menu or the program manager either. It's probably, I don't know why it's visible, but there might be a reason why it's visible, so that I don't know why they have it visible, but I don't see it anywhere. And when I hit it, I didn't see anything change. Well, that's just one of the things. So, whoops. So those things. So what I did was I just created a bitmap image. I'll make a better one. I don't know how great this is, but if you look at the loading process, it says please wait, and it doesn't sync. It doesn't look very nicely synced because you don't see an empty list box. You just see nothing for a while. Plus the logo. See, it was pretty quick. But I'd rather this what I can do is take that please wait static control and put it on top of this one and make it the same size. And white, if I can make it white, or I can make another one of these and just split a white rectangle. And then once this thing is filled up, then just hide it. So it's basically, you wouldn't be able to click in here because there's a window on top of it. And then I can just hide it. But I don't know if I can. See, that's just a static control. I can't click it because in terms of the order, this thing is in front of, on top of that please wait. Right? So what I'm hiding is I'm hiding this thing as it's being filled up. Right? And for a definite reason, because if you don't, if it's visible, if the program will crash because of the fact that the adding of the items is happening in a different thread, and there's some user data that's not some user data is being put into this thing in a different thread, and I do something else wrong, I guess. I don't know. For some reason, it's better to keep it hidden so that as I'm adding items to it, there are no messages coming back. So I can't touch those items until the thing is completely full, and that thread is dead. And then what I do is I just show it again. That's how it's pretty basic programming. I'm not using any signals or anything. All I'm doing is I have a timer. Here's the handler for my timer. That timer, and I'm checking if the thread. This is the second thread, not the main thread of the program. If that thread is no longer active, then I kill that timer, hide the please wait, that box, which is tiny as you saw, and then I show the list box, and then I set the focus to the list box and select the first item, and that's it. So this is an addendum, and I'll keep fancying it up. I could make that, now since this thing is right, is a class. It's in my program. Now I can do whatever I like in this WM Paint. So for instance, I could make it animate if I wanted. In fact, I said all the animator thing, the TsAnimator. I could, have it make smoke come out or something. I don't know. Who knows? Do anything you want. See ya.